Welcome to European Railway, the video magazine for the continental enthusiast. We begin this programme with a look at activity around the steel producing area to the north of Saarbrücken, as we call into Volklingen and Dillingen stations on the morning of 2nd of July 2009. The town of Volklingen has developed over the past 100 or so years as a result of the coal mining and steel industries. Although much of this has declined in recent years, it continues to be the main economic driver in this still very industrialised region. Around 41,000 people live in the town, and many commute the short distance to and from the city of Saarbrücken. Most local commuter trains are formed of the now very common Class 425 units. More longer distance services are formed of push-pull operated train sets, worked by Class 143 or sometimes Class 112 as seen here. The yard next to the station handles most of the freight traffic in the area, and when we paid our visit it was shunted by 3 Class 294s. 294877 is seen here. The station is dominated by the now closed Volklingen Ironworks. This was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1994 and is today a museum. Construction of an ironworks on this site originally took place in 1881, and operations continued until the plant's closure in 1986. Switzerland State Railway's freight arm, SBB Cargo, has won the contract for operating trainloads of molten iron between the Saar steel plant here at Volklingen and the blast furnaces at Dillingen. Sporting SBB Cargo's colours, XDR Class 203 number 203149 runs into the exchange sidings. Freight traffic on the through lines was around 1 train per hour in each direction during our morning stopover. Here, 185009 heads a southbound train of finished cars at just after 0820. SBB Cargo uses one of its Re4 locos for moving the specialist torpedo wagons carrying the molten steel from Dillingen works. Here 11393 arrives with this southbound working at 0835. Some 15 kilometres north is the town of Dillingen. Here lies one of the biggest steel manufacturing plants in Europe. For over 300 years, steel production has been associated with this region, and the nearby furnaces produce some of the finest quality steel to be found. Heading south in this view is 155083. Heading north is a Class 481, number 481004, on an empty coal train, the loco belonging to Oberhausen-based NIAG. As well as these trains, trainloads of iron ore are also worked along this route on their way to and from Rotterdam. This is a local service bound for Trier. Luxembourg's CFL also operate trains through here. This is 4001 on a northbound working for Bettembourg Yard. One 43873 is on the rear of this, the 1105 service from Saarbrücken to Koblenz. Finally, we see this interesting pairing of DB Schenker Class 185025 and French SNCF Class BB37000, number 37025. The metre-gauge Montreux-Oberland Bernois railway was built in stages between 1901 and 1912. and links Montreux with Zweisimmen. The line is one of the oldest electric railways in Switzerland and is currently partway through a modernisation programme, which will see new passenger stock introduced, electrification renewed and track layouts remodelled. We begin our look at the railway's operations at the small resort of Chambly, around halfway up the climb from Montreux to Les Havens. Arriving with a local service from Blonay is this Class BE26 number 7004, one of 4 units used on the services on the CEV and MOB between Vevey and Montreux. Leaving on the adjacent line is one of MOB's Class ABDE88 electrics with a service for Zweisimmen. Arriving with a service from Zweisimmen is locomotive 6004, one of 2 locomotives brought from the GFM network in April 2007. Much of the train is made up of Golden Pass Classic stock. This train will return as the 847 from Montreux. This maintenance gang vehicle follows soon afterwards. Dropping down from Les Havens is unit number 4002, with this service for Montreux. We now move to Montbovon station, which is the junction with the Transport Public Fribourgeois metre-gauge line from Boulay, as BDE 44 electric unit number 124 arrives with the 805 from Palaiseau. Arriving with the 847 from Montreux is number 6005. We are now just to the west of Chateau d'Ay, as this golden panoramic express winds its way towards the station. The town is famous for the annual balloon festival, which takes place in the last week of January. It was also the home of American actor Billy Kearns and the British actor David Niven. As already mentioned, in April 2008, the MOB announced a 4-year modernisation programme, which included track replacement and deeper ballasting. In support of this, we see GDE 44 number 8001 with an engineer's train just outside of Rougemont. The modernisation programme included substantial track renewal at Gstaad, where we see unit number 4004 departing with the 1258 departure west. Finally, we are at Schoonrider station as locomotive number 6004 arrives with the service for Zweisimmen.
The port of Zeebrugge is situated on the northwestern coast of Belgium, and in recent years has become a major port for freight heading into and out of Central Europe. We visited the area on 3rd of July 2009 to study the railways that feed into this port. Around 3 kilometres to the south is Brugge-Zeehaven Junction, located close to Herdebrug. This is where the routes from Blankenberg and Knokke converge. There is an hourly shuttle service from Brugge to Zeebrugge and return, which is usually formed of a 2-car electric unit. In this view, type AM62, number 184, is in charge of the 1709 from Brugge. There are no local-hauled services to Zeebrugge, but there are on the line from Knokke, which veers off to the right just past the road bridge in the distance. This is train IC 1518 to Liège. Class AM66 number 609 is in charge of one of the hourly stopping services that operate to and from Knokke. Since the introduction of Class 28 electrics on trains between Antwerpen and Monsen, the Class 20 electrics have been cascaded onto freight workings on this line. Here 2015 heads north. We are now just south of Zeebrugge's main yard, as 2019 eases its train load of containers away from a signal check. You can observe trains arriving and departing the complex at Zwankendam station, where we see number 184 working one of the hourly shuttles back to Brugge. Stabled next to the station are a number of electrics awaiting their next turn of duty.
The new Class 28s are already finding their way to the port on freight services. Here 2804 runs light engine into the port before heading south on a loaded container train later on in the evening. The Class 26s are currently allocated to the freight sector. Their long-term future very much depends on any upturn in the economy and the demand that this will have on freight. The introduction of new Class 18 electrics will allow Classes 21 and 27 to be cascaded onto freight duties. And with the influx of new Class 28, only time will tell if the 1960s built Class 26 will be found a place in the active fleet. Finally, another shot of the new order in the shape of Pioneer Class 28 number 2801. This loco will make its way to the eastern side of the port complex to haul a trainload of cars for Germany. In this section of the programme, we pay a visit to the Austrian town of Spielfeldstrasse, which lies close to the border with Slovenia. The station acts as a changeover point between Austrian traction and locomotives of Slovenian state railways. The railways of Austria and Slovenia operate off different voltages, and so the tracks through the station can be energised with either the Austrian 15 kV overhead or the Slovenian 3000 volts DC system. Our first scene shows Slovenian locomotive number 342014 taking Austria's 1042-018 off the front of train IC 259, the 1356 from Vienna to Maribor. For every train that arrives, the Slovenian locomotive loose shunts the Austrian loco back through the station. Number 342014 represents one of the 26 remaining examples of this once 40-strong class. These locomotives are common on passenger services right across the electrified network. The diesel-operated line to Bad Radkersburg also branches off here and is worked by either Class 2016 diesels, as seen here, or Class 5022-0 DMUs. Trains operate to an hourly frequency. Class 363 is a French-supplied locomotive based on the popular CC 6500s. 39 examples are currently active on the Slovenian system. Yet to be repainted into the modern Slovenian Railways livery is 342035, seen arriving with the 1600 from Ljubljana to Vienna intercity service. This class of loco dates from 1968. Austrian Class 1142 number 705 glides to a halt whilst heading the 1844 terminating service from Graz. This train will be joined by another 1142 hauled train at 2033, whereupon both sets join together and work back to Graz. A Class 5022 Desiro DMU arrives from Bad Radkersburg on a service for Graz. Finally, 342014 returns from Maribor at the head of the last intercity train of the day from Maribor to Vienna. With the steady investment in new trains and rolling stock across Europe, the older order is gradually disappearing. In France, the arrival of new local trains is also taking its toll. The box-like outline of the Class BB 16500 has never really endeared enthusiasts into liking these trusted workhorses, but their contribution to the railways in northern and eastern France should not be underestimated. Built as long ago as 1958, they are still clinging to life on local passenger trains around Lille and the lines south of Nancy and Strasbourg to Mulhouse. We attempted to hunt down a few of the last remaining examples on 19th of June this year. We begin early on a dull rainy morning at Donsangin, just to the southwest of Lille. The anticipated BB 67400 diesel on the 637 arrival from St. Paul actually turned up with a new X76500 unit. Not a good start to our day in terms of seeking out the old order. Luckily, as per diagram, this Lille to Bethune commuter train produced our first 16500 of the day. Number 16711 entered service on 1st of March 1963 and is now in its 46th year of traffic. To the east of the station, a Z23500 electric unit heads towards Lille. Also on their way out are the diesel loco haul services that operate in this part of France, such as in this example which shows 67591 on the 642 from Lille to St. Paul. New deliveries of X76500 DMUs are gradually ousting the classic big blue diesels. In the opposite direction comes 67626 on the 618 from St. Paul. The sky was still dark and overcast as BB 16759 heads east out of the town, whilst powering the 646 from Lens to Lille. We now move to just south of the town of Liebecourt, on the line from Lille to Douai. The oldest surviving 16500 is 16530, which was introduced into traffic on 8th of March 1959. The loco is seen on the rear of the 740 from Lille to Douai. A kilometre to the south and we see dual voltage BB22200 locomotive number 22377 on a container train bound for the nearby terminal which replaced Lineside. This was another 16500 diagram that had gone over to a unit. This is Z24500, number 24555, one of 33 out of an eventual fleet of 46, based at Lens. Introduced into traffic as recently as March this year, this is Z24500 set number 613. This is just south of Douai on the line from Cambrai, as this Z24500 heads north. This was until recently a BB16500 diagram. Finally, we are at Montigny on the line linking Douai with Valenciennes, as BB16760 slows with the 1214 from Lens. 10 years ago, this class were an everyday sight in northern France on all manner of trains from freight to local passenger. Today, the survivors are on borrowed time, as new train deliveries slowly erode their numbers. If you want to see them in action before they go, then northern France, and particularly to the south of Lille, is the place. One of the delights of the Harz Mountains in Germany is the steam-operated Harzer Schmalspurbahnen from Wernigerode to the Brocken Mountain and onwards onto Nordhausen and Gernrode. The line up to the Brocken is more commonly known as the Brockenbahn and attracts railway enthusiasts from all over the world to this part of Germany. We begin at Dry Annenhonne on Sunday 21st of June 2009 as 997245, a locomotive built in 1956, departs with the afternoon train for Nordhausen. On this day, number 997239 was working shuttle trains between here and the Brocken.
In April, not far from here.
In typical Harz Mountain rainy weather, number 997240 departs with the 1551 service to Brocken. Number 997239 is quickly off its train, and after a swift refreshment stop for the crew, she is off to the other end of the train. The Brocken is a popular walking and tourist spot, and this generates up to 11 return steam-hauled workings each day. The weather this high up in northern Germany can be very unpredictable. Take this scene for instance. Bright sunshine 1 minute and low rolling cloud the next. Number 997237 is seen tackling the grade. Mist and cloud can shroud this mountain for on average up to 300 days each year. So if you get lucky on a visit, then make the most of it. Since 1939, the mountain has been home to Soviet and East German spy posts, some of which remain today as a museum. Finally in this programme, we see 997236 heading for the summit with the 1339 from Dry Annenholme. We hope that you have enjoyed this edition of European Railway.